as you know, Friday night, and this is Friday Night Live. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to all the moderators. And thank you to our special guest tonight. She is known as Kindred Spirit on her channel, and her name is Ruth. Ruth, how are you, my dear?
I am very well, thank you, Wayne. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. And I'd like to let everyone know in listening and in the chat room, it is rather early over where you are. It's 2 a.m., right?
It is 2 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time over here in the UK.
There you go. And you know, I would have never known that if by listening to your voice that you were not English.
Oh, bless you.
Well, I tell you, it's a lovely, lovely accent. I love it. I just want to say hello to everyone out, all the moderators. You know, we're getting a good crowd here. So,
Wonderful.
Ruth, I heard about you, I believe, through Jeff Doherty, and I went over and looked at your channel, and you have a very good gifting. I do watch your videos each day.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, you know, you never know who's watching.
No.
I actually have
no Jeff was watching.
It's interesting, you know, that as I continue to see people, it's amazing to see the gifting people are coming out. And you have a unique story on how you have arrived to where you are at. So I told you this was going to be easy. So why don't you go ahead and take the floor and just kind of give us a little background. Let's hear your story.
Oh, okay. So was living a very ordinary life. Thank you very much. Minding my own business. I do have a horse, so I horse ride. And one day I zigged when my horse zagged.
Uh-oh.
Came off and I broke my back.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I had a burst fracture to L1. That's the big one between your shoulder blades. And because I'd landed on my bottom, I'd concertinaed my spine. So I had a bruised spinal cord as well. And I had a piece of bone was actually kind of touching my spinal cord.
Oh, my.
So for 12 months, I practically, I say, was bedridden.
I would say.
Couldn't move, had to have a brace on and all of that. That's when it all started. when I was unable to get up and move around. So normally, you know, when you're moving around through your day, you're processing your thoughts. But when you are stuck, sort of laid out on a bed, you are alone with your thoughts.
Boy, you really are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Were you in much pain?
Oh, tremendous pain. For 12 months, it felt like somebody was kind of poking their finger in my back constantly. I had no relief from that. And it was amazing. The one morning when I woke up, Wayne, and it had gone. that was an amazing.
I bet. Now, that's a good point, because if you think about that, you're in this tremendous pain, and then when it's no longer there, it's almost like it's unreal, huh? Like,
yeah.
It
was really noticeable. Like, what's happened? Where's my pain gone?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So continue on. That's fascinating.
So, I read books, I watched films, I tried to play a computer game, but I really struggled because the break was between my shoulder blades. Kind of everything I did with my arms or any action really put me back in pain. But I kind of my friend bought me a book on angels. It was a Doreen Virtue book on Archangel Michael.
Yes.
Because I'd already got the Healing Angel cards. It was a deck I'd already got. I'd already got that deck and the Druidcraft deck. Although I didn't seriously use the cards, it was more kind of parlour games, if you like, you know, friends round, have a glass of wine and get the cards out in the evening sort of thing.
Sure. I mean, you know, listen, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah, I was stuck there. So I was, I just felt impulses to play with these cards. Reading about angels, and somebody else bought me another book on called My Journey with the Angels. And I remember this day in particular. My son had left me his Xbox, and you could get different, like, not radio stations, but different music genres to listen to.
mm-hmm.
And this one station, this one day, literally played one after the other a song about an angel, you know, Angel Baby or Pretty Little Angel I, one after, and I never ever found the music genre again after that. It was like a one-off thing. At this point, I'm sort of going, oh, what's happening? Something is going on here.
I mean, more than just coincidence.
More than coincidence, and really noticeable. At the same time, because my only view really at this point is through the window, I'm at this time noticing the sky and thinking that there's something not right with the sky. It doesn't look like I always remembered that the sky did look, as in nice and blue and fluffy clouds, and it wasn't. It was, well, I would say it looked like an angel layer cake. It was like these lines going across, and I kept looking at the sky and thinking, is it me? Is it because I'm stuck in here? Or
Going stir crazy?
Running around or something. And
now, what time frame is this, Ruth?
So it was 2010.
2010, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
July 25th, Sunday.
I bet you remember the exact minute, don't you? You can't help but not.
So yeah, all these things are kind of happening, and I'm asking people, and they're all sort of looking at me and going, no, it's just you, everything's sort of fine. Then I discovered the wonders of YouTube. And that was when the world sort of opened up for me at that point. I discovered David Icke first. I don't know if you've listened to David Icke. It was his very first show that he actually put on YouTube. I think it was called Remember Who You Are, something like that. Then he did his second one, Human Race, Get Off Your Knees. I thought that was, yes, absolutely amazing.
How appropriate.
Yes, and then he did another one, Awaken, Awaken, Awaken.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually on tour at the moment. So I listened to him, had lots of penny dropping moments, and really found resonance with a lot of things that he was saying. And of course, being an Englishman and starting off in football and in politics, he is really well known in the UK.
Okay.
Then I discovered a gentleman called Mark Passio.
I've not heard of him.
Okay, so he's a guy from Philadelphia. He is an ex-Satanist.
Oh, okay.
He kind of says, if you want to know anything about what's going on, ask an ex-Satanist.
I think we ought to have him on. I think that would be a fascinating interview.
He'd be amazing. His delivery is very direct. So not a lot of people like the directness of it, but I personally do. You know, if you're going to speak a truth, it's a truth, and that's sort of it. And he, on his shows, he'll say to you, you know, don't get bogged down in what I'm wearing, what I look like, or anything like that. It's about what I am saying to you. So you can get as offended as you like. I don't care. Oh, that was a good attitude for me. So, yeah, so I started watching him, and he really filled in kind of blanks that were maybe missing from David Icke's point of view, because it was kind of the royal family and all of that, whereas Mark, he dips into you know, your political side of things from the US side. you've just got to get into this. No, I wouldn't even be able to do him justice. So it was about 5 years ago I discovered him, and it's called What on Earth is Happening, is his very first one. But he's done lots of videos ever since. But Wayne, definitely I would recommend Mark to you.
Make sure you send me the email and
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I'll ask him out.
Yeah, I'll set you on the path for that.
Okay.
He's
Excellent.
because he's an ex-Satanist and he's been that side, and he's managed to get himself out of it, and he's got a message to give, and the message is the same realization that sort of all of us that are awakening have come to, which is basically we are creating our own life.
I think it's just so much that we see that we're so polarized in the Western world that we get these ideas that somehow our religion is the light, and that brings us enlightenment. Mm-hmm. And what we do is that we discount the pagans, the Satan worshipers, however you want to define it. I mean, people worship gods all over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've all got experience in different things. So I was brought up in a very, very strict Christian household. It was compulsory to go to church.
Was it Protestant?
The Church of England. So
yes.
So Anglican, basically.
They are, I do believe, outside of Rome. I guess the Anglican Church of England would be considered the first true Protestant church.
I would guess so, Wayne.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, because Protestant is protester.
Yes. Yes.
Damn protesters. Look what they went and did, man. I mean, we had the Catholicism, it was fine, and then we get these protesters. Anyway, I digress. So very strict Orthodox Protestant upbringing.
Yeah, and so and the devil was to be feared. So I would never, although I've always been interested in the supernatural, so kind of the odd one of the family.
Can we stop right there a second, Ruth, because you said something that's very key. Okay. How often we get so misaligned when we hear the word supernatural, which only means that it's natural, just super.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's associated with the spooky.
Well, it is. I suppose years ago I would have just called it paranormal.
Mm-hmm. Now,
but I prefer the word supernatural.
Yeah.
Because it is the super nature that we are experiencing. So I feel everybody else is probably experiencing their normal nature or natural life, but there's something super going on for me.
Yeah, because normal is such an ambiguous term. I don't know what normal is.
No.
I mean, none of us are normal. On this bus, we are just... Anyway. We're having fun.
So I would never have done anything like the tarot or anything of that degree. First of all, it would have been very frowned on, and secondly, I was afraid of it because I've been, taught to be afraid of the devil. In case anything happens to you, then the devil's going to get you.
Yeah.
And it's a big hang up, especially as children. I think it gives a lot of children fears that are unnecessary. And so for me, this is it's kind of part of the pattern that I see that is coming down from the big wigs above, if you like. That's all. It all filters down of how we are dumbed down and how we are suppressed and oppressed.
Yeah.
As a civilization.
Yeah, I contend, in fact, that the whole fear factor for children, it sets into motion a spiritual presence that is founded in fear.
Yes.
I mean, how screwed up is that?
Very screwed up and very, very back to front. And
yeah, exactly.
And actually, it's child abuse on a degree.
Oh, well said. Yeah.
Because it is, and it's a frightening experience. I know me and both my younger sibling have experienced the fear. I've had, night terrors, that kind of thing. And it's only as with maturity and for myself with this awakening that I've let go of the fear. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Excellent.
I can, a bit further along in my journey.
Yeah, so I've interrupted. So you were laying in bed seeing the sky changing.
Uh-huh.
Then 2010, which is the perfect time. Now, I think that's really when this really started kicking in. So let's pick up from there.
So I started researching. As I say, I discovered David Icke, discovered Mark Passio. Then I discovered you, Wayne, and with WSO at the time.
Yeah, Steve Olson.
Yeah. And I was, amazed by the content that was coming out, that you were talking about what I was seeing visually. But I've kind of gone along and I'd say to people, can you see that? Have you noticed that? And it's like, no, it's just me. I'm the bonkers one. No?
Yeah, because now they're looking at you like not normal.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey ho, I'll tell me something new.
Oh, it's one of them.
Yeah, don't care.
It happens to all of us.
Hey ho.
Yeah.
But yes, I've so kind of went all down. I've been down so many rabbit holes, really, to be fair, with this awakening. And I do think that is it is something that is...
it's part of the initiation.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And actually, if you do listen to spiritualists or paganists, they will tell you that there is like 7 years of study.
Yeah. Yep.
From your awakening. So, yeah, it is a real process that you do go through, and physically, it can make you quite ill as well. I've noted.
Yeah.
A lot of physical symptoms that are going on with awakening and ascension. I think, is it Naughty Beaver? Do you watch Naughty? Yeah. I think he was saying about the symptoms as well. And it's really good that it's been put out there, because, you sit there having heart palpitations and you might want to run to the doctor. In my case, no, you wouldn't. I'll deal with it myself. Thank you very much.
By the way, is your back healed now?
So it's probably the best it's ever going to be. So I am up and about. I just have to be really careful with, bending, lifting, twisting. Basically, my family are sort of like, don't do that, Mom. Don't do that. And really only because if I do and I hurt myself, it means they have to take care of me again for a while. So
don't hurt yourself, Mom. We love you, but don't hurt yourself.
Because I end up doing everything.
Please, So as you've come now, you have a gifting with the tarot cards, right?
Well, I didn't realise that I did.
Yeah.
This is part of the process of what happened. So the tarot really came into my life probably about 18 months ago, fully. So I've got to the point in my awakening where I'm now meditating.
Yeah.
I have now learned to stop that brain chatter. If I open my eyes at 2:00 in the morning, it's not full of brain chatter. I trained my brain with a nice little mantra that I speak to myself, and I've trained myself out of brain natter and chatter and fear, basically being anxious, being worried, which is really what wakes people up a lot in the first place.
Yeah.
So I kind of trained myself out of. I forgot where we were, Wayne. Sorry.
No. Training yourself not to be in fear. With your mantra that I think this is wonderful. Disciplining the mind.
Yes, training the mind. And And so I came to a place where I was feeling a lot calmer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so obviously because I've broken my back, so I don't work like I did before. And so financially, I am dependent on Mr. Kindred Spirit.
Yeah, no,
Or
no.
Mr. KS, as my friends call him. And so the one little fear I probably had trouble overcoming was what would happen if anything happened to Mr. KS. And then I was sort of left with, because any savings that we'd had, we already dipped into all of that when I first broke my back. And so I thought, well, the only way over this is to, put it into the hands of my guides and my angels. And I literally just put the question out there to the universe: what can I do that would use my gifts as a career, just for me? And I have done some artwork, only in pencil drawings, but I have sort of tried that. So I thought it might kind of take me off in that direction. But no. Wow.
Never does work that way, does it?
No. All of a sudden, I became obsessed with tarot cards. Got the impulse to fetch these angel cards out again, and the druid craft. Really started to get the book out and really learn it. Felt impulse to buy some more cards, so there I am sitting perusing these other decks. Then I discovered on YouTube that not only could you, check out your zodiac sign, but there were tarot readers on there. And this I didn't know.
Yeah. We got Trish G, and there's a number of people out there.
Yeah, I didn't realise this. I didn't know that there was this forum out there at all, because it wasn't something that had come, into my life at that time.
Sure. Let me ask you something. Ruth, you said about the Druids. Now, we had Ravenwolf on here, Anna, and so the Druids, very interesting culture, dates way back thousands of years. It's rumored that Paul spent his latter years with the Druids, learning their belief system, learning their magic.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that. So did you look into the Druid belief system and their culture?
I didn't at the time. It was just a deck that at one point I've obviously been drawn to. I kind of believe, I'm drawn more to thinking that we kind of do things when we're younger for ourselves when we are older.
Oh, well said. Well said. Great philosophy.
That's where I'm kind of at. So I believe really that these cards came into my life actually for now at this point where I'm at, because I'm like you, Wayne. It's just that much. I can't stop making notes. I'm downloading information constantly. In fact, sometimes I'm bamboozled by it all.
I'll tell you, as I look in here, and I just want to say hello to all the moderators. Hello, Karen. I'm going to have Karen back on, Queen of Courts, Brad, Brian, Milky Way. I know he does a show right after. Hello, everyone. But Ruth, if all of us were to get into this commune, all of us, were together, mm-hmm. I think we would have the second biggest library. It's
between us.
Yeah, it's okay, well, forget where we're going to sleep. Where we're going to put the books.
This just keeps growing and growing.
It does. So you got very familiar. Now I want to ask you a question, if I could. Of
course you can.
There is so much. I don't know if it's misconception, deviation of truth, whatever we want to call it, but spirit guides. Mm-hmm. How did you come to know yours?
I literally, well, I asked if you can ask your spirit guide to connect with you and to speak to you. You can ask them to touch you. I didn't fancy the idea of that one because I thought it might freak me out a little bit.
Man, you're violating my space, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, who's that? But you can ask them to tell you who they are and what their name is. So this was when I broke my back, and I was for the first 12 months in the bed or on the bed, and I put myself into a meditative state and literally just asked, "What's your name?" And I had a lady speak very clearly into my head 3 times, and she said, "Amy, Amy, Amy."
Excellent.
So that's occurred for me. What else has occurred for me? Oh, detached from my body.
Oh, a little astral projecting.
That was, it was only momentarily. It never happened to me before. It never.
Startling experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Whoa, there I was watching myself having a conversation with someone, and then before I knew it, I was back in the room.
Oh yeah.
I had to really look that one up, and I think I watched David Wilcock on. I think it was something about synchronicity, and he happened to mention that he had a moment where he had detached from his body, and I thought, it's okay. People do this.
It is.
It's not out there, and this information, you've really got to go and seek it.
You do,
because it's not given to you.
No. I and as you know, I tell people all the time, knowledge has a price. You're going to pay a price one way or the other. I mean, but yeah. So, Amy, we know that she's with you. Is she a spirit of the angelic realm, or is she a spirit of the man-god realm?
I believe she's the angelic realm, although I don't know for sure. I've never heard her speak since. I don't actually see spirits, although I do get a lot of orbs on my channel.
Yeah, I've seen that. That.
I don't see them physically, Wayne. I only see them like you do through the digital camera. I don't actually see them physically. Oh, I wish I could.
Well, what people don't realize is that when I started this channel in earnest, I was awakened by a male voice, filled the room, and literally told me that this is what I needed to do, that I had been given a platform and that I would be shown later for what it would be for. So here we are.
Yeah. And I think this is where I'm kind of at, where it's shown me with all the impulses to learn the tarot, and I still don't know it all. I mean, I'm trying to learn something that's taken
it's a lifetime.
And I really wouldn't want to take that away from any of the readers out there. But all I know is that when I sit at that table, I do my own little prayer first. I tune in. I do humming like you.
Yes.
Well, I've learned. See, another thing I learned on this journey is about our tongue. There is only 3 sounds that we make that don't use the tongue, and that is R, oo, and And so I actually do R, oo,
I call those spirit words because they're of the spirit. They're not of the flesh.
Yeah, and it's the tongue, our tongue, that interferes with everything. If you, I don't know, do you watch Santos Bonacci?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done the? Is it the Sacred Secret of the Christos? And so where he says when he goes up to the 33rd vertebrae, which really is, if you think about it, it's opposite the tongue.
It is.
And this is where I'm like, this is where you can crucify yourself, isn't it?
It is all the time. People, when they start realizing they'll start learning how to begin to speak manifestations into their life. But then I get people who write me and they go, well, what happened? And I said, well, give me some of your idea of what you're talking. Inevitably, they're counteracting what they're already speaking.
Yes.
And then they say, well, it's like, I'm still at nothing. And I went, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to move on.
It's like standing in the queue. You could stand in a queue and somebody stood at the counter buying a lottery ticket and at the same time saying, I don't know why I'm buying this because I never win. And I want to go, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Win. But
Hey, Chelsea, I see that Chelsea Rose is in. I'm going to get her on. So now that you've gotten this gift, the first time you used the tarot, what was that like?
It was. I really don't know if I can put it into words because it was out of this world, actually, to put it as an explanation, because it was, as a sensitive and an empath, and I'm kind of, as my mom would say, oversensitive. So anything makes the hairs on the back of my neck go up. And so everything I can find is either a hair-raising moment or a shocking moment. They're not magnetic beings, so a lot of the time.
Oh.
So no, it was like amazing. You know, you bringing these cards out and they are prophetically giving you a message, and you can't miss it. It's something that you can't miss the message. And as you get kind of a couple of decks, and you can ask one deck and get certain cards out. The next deck might not give you the same cards, but it will kind of give you the same message for that day. So that's kind of where I got to. I'm still learning. It's I suddenly had these impulses. Once I knew the basics, I started getting impulses that I needed to share this message and needed to share what I knew with people, needed to share that it's really simple, isn't it, to change your life. It's
yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't quote scriptures or anything like that, but it's the narrow path, isn't it? Not the wide. But the thing I find is it's so simple that people don't want to do it because of how simple it is. We're kind of all so used to having to put the effort in and the hard work in and, you know, pushing rocks up hills.
Yeah, and that's what you literally have to do.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to a really simplistic message that can change your life. So what really occurred for me was I would try to tell people what the knowledge I had gained, thinking I would be able to free all these wonderful people, and everybody's like, again, oh, here's the mad woman. Let's all run in the house quick before she comes. I feel really I've been guided to do this because in using the cards, I've been able to give this message out through the tarot. So what a journey I'm on. I'm so out of my normal comfort zone of even doing a YouTube channel in the first place. And as you know, normally you just see the old jazz hands.
Yeah.
Literally, that's, you know, time saving. I mean, if I did try and put myself on there, I'd sit there for half an hour first, like, oh, that's not right, and that's not. And it's wasting precious time because there's a message to be got out. So for me, it's all about the message. I've got some wonderful, subscribers, but I prefer to call them friends. Absolutely wonderful people who have really appreciated the channel.
I think you're about to get a lot more.
Oh, wow.
I'm just telling you, I just love your energy. So can I ask you, what do you ask the tarot? Now, I guess most people are seeking guidance in their lives. Is that right? Love, money, finance,
It is usually the same few things. It's usually about love, it's usually about career, and it is usually about finances.
And you see, I don't care about any of those things.
Yeah.
So what could I ask the tarot? You know, it's like, you know, I don't know. What am I going to...
What's next for Steiger?
Yeah. Well, that would be a loaded question. You might burn the deck up. All right, next.
I think the thing is, you're so comfortable in your own skin, Wayne.
Well, thank you. It's a marvelous piece of skin, too.
It's a wonderful bit of equipment.
Yes, I marvel at this thing all the time.
Yeah.
I was thinking today, oddly enough, about the knee. You know, when you think about the fantastic movement of the human knee. But yes, you are correct. I'm comfortable in my skin. I really love me. You know, I'm a far out dude. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But has it taken you a long time to get to there, though?
Oh, my freaking life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we can't embrace that as younger people, because what a waste of wonderful time that could have been better spent.
Yes.
And there's such a lot of darkness around in the world. So
could you imagine children coming in from kindergarten, going into the elementary school, and we teach them tarot cards. We teach them how to begin to connect into the ether and for guidance. Could you imagine a world like that?
Teaching them crystals. And the only place you'll hear parents doing that is literally if you visit a tarot shop, or a shop where you can purchase tarot and crystals. Then maybe you'll hear parents in there with their children, but that's kind of the...
Wow, it's a good question for the audience. I'd literally like to ask everyone out there in the chat room, folks, you know, there's 200 plus people in here. Does anyone know of a community that they actually teach children this? I mean, maybe let me just retract that. Don't tell me about it, because obviously, you know, it could be really subject to ridicule, but I digress, Ruth. I think it's a fabulous idea, that should be pursued personally. Yeah,
definitely, because it's it is hidden knowledge. That is that's what occult means, hidden.
Yeah,
so
hidden knowledge. That's exactly what it means.
Yeah, you know? And I think and that's another thing that's been occurring for me, Wayne, is understanding words differently. I don't know if that's been happening for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh wow. This is just a wonderful conversation for me, my friend, because you wouldn't believe how many people don't want to have this conversation. By now would be sitting rolling their eyes and trying to make an escape route for the door.
Oh, I'll tell you, when you speak about words, so yesterday, my daughter's in here and we're all cooking, and I just said out of the blue, I was thinking about words. So think about the word, because we were cooking a turkey. So a turkey is known as a fowl. That's F-O-W-L.
Yes.
Then you can have a foul smell, F-O-U-L. Then you can actually have a foul that is a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, words.
And then you've got there, and there.
Exactly. I've been there.
Which. So which.
And, you know, it's the way that our language is so, I think most of the time we're spell speaking.
Yes. And we don't realize we're doing it.
Yeah. The binding ourselves is, I think, and so often is what we're doing.
I think that bound us up completely. And this is, I feel, where a lot of us have blockages, and I feel, I don't know whether it's an actual blockage that's put in your DNA to start off with. I'm kind of sort of reading about that, and I'm finding a little resonance there with that. My big block that I've removed, last year I started working on my heart chakra.
Okay.
I realised that that's where my block was. I closed my heart off.
So describe that, if you would, because I think that that's a term that more people suffer from than what they realize.
Yes. Well, as a young girl and a teenager, and even as a young woman, I'd visited the doctor with chest pains, breathlessness, all of these kind of things. Even having a physical, like you want to swallow the lump, you know, lots of physical feelings, but could never get to the bottom of it or find anything out. Then I discovered that I had been shallow breathing. So that was yeah.
No, that's interesting. Shallow breathing. Can you describe that? That's very interesting.
Well, shallow breathing is literally, once you've experienced something that has probably scared the pants off you.
Life-threatening.
Yes, you learn to hold your breath, or to keep quiet, so you breathe a lot quieter. And so literally I'm breathing from my diaphragm very shallowly, rather than using my diaphragm and your stomach area as the bellows that they are meant to be.
That's what they be there for.
They be there for that, exactly. And so literally I had to learn how to unblock my heart chakra, and I listened to lots of different meditations, different people. By now I'd started the channel. I'd kind of been on about 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Had a massive wobble. What the heck am I doing? 23 views. Oh no.
Hey, listen, we all start out. I've been there.
Yeah. And it actually was my son that said to me, "Oh, Mum, I thought you were really enjoying that. Why don't you start again?" So I thought, right, well, I'll ask the cards. They're the ones that will know.
Yes.
So I will show you. I think I've got them here somewhere.
There's a great proverb that says, "Do not despise the day of small beginnings."
This is true.
So many times we want to always start at the top. And the great thing about learning to climb to the top is that when you fall back down, at least it looks familiar.
You know it.
Because it happens. Brad White was saying panic attacks feed on themselves. Yeah, very lack of O2. Yep, absolutely.
Lack of oxygen, straight. Yeah, and there you are into the old brown paper bag trying to get the air out. You know it. So I asked the cards, Wayne.
Yes.
And I asked 2 decks. There's a Wisdom of the Oracle, which was that one, and then I've got the Oracle of the Unicorns that people like.
Those are beautiful, by the way.
I call them my trusty steeds. I just absolutely really connect with this deck. So I asked the cards over a period of a couple of days, and the same cards kept coming out. There was this one, which was Unfinished Symphony. Sorry, can you see that?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Unfinished
Symphony. Go. Yeah.
Then there was Go the Distance.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then there was this one. Can you see that?
Dance. Yes.
But I couldn't figure, because it was going on about dancing and high vibration, and I thought, why is this one keep coming out? And I was watching another tarot channel, and on their light videos, there was Astrology for the Soul, a guy called K. Pacha Lesha, I think he calls himself. And he does a mantra at the very end of every one of his videos. And this particular mantra that went with this card was, when I really look at it, all life is but a chance, and if I refuse to face my fear, I will never learn to dance. Well, that's for me. If this message here isn't a kick up the backside for, come on, Ruth, we need you out there.
I love this.
So I did that, and then I went for a trip to our nearest city, which is the city of Lichfield.
Okay.
Actually, Lichfield is translates into City of the Dark Art. So,
Ooh,
and
spooky.
I think we have a big cathedral there because it's to do with the crossing of ley lines.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is a very energised place. So we went walking around the old cobbled back roads, and there's all the old Tudor buildings, and went into a couple of the back shops. Found, first of all,
Oh, look at that.
I thought, that's for me. That's that
Yeah.
egg.
Yeah.
That's the unfinished symphony.
How cool is that?
How cool was that? And then in the next shop, I found a piece of rose quartz,
Oh my.
which is
Hey,
for
Karen, look at
unwrapping.
that. Can you put that up again? We
Okay.
have Karen, the Queen of Quartz, in here. She
Oh,
that is just beautiful, Ruth.
well,
Yes.
I picked it up, and there's a groove. I don't know if you can see there. There's a
Yeah.
groove in the side. Um,
See,
I,
this
I,
was the one Karen sent me.
oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And this has got some powerful energy to it.
Well,
It's
it's for your heart chakra, isn't it? I mean, Karen
yeah,
will say
yeah,
better, but
yeah. She's
and
right here.
it's got a groove down the side that
Yes.
when I pick it up, my thumb perfectly fits in.
Is that right?
I've tried other people and it doesn't have the same fit, but
Mm-hmm.
it fits me. So
Yes.
I purchased that. And then there was, this one is the other one that everybody likes, which is a
Oh,
peacock.
that's far out.
It's
Look
beautiful.
at that. What is that?
It's a peacock crystal. And now I can't remember I think it's bronite, or no, I
Wow,
can't remember.
that is just beautiful.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And the gold that you can see in it is actually fool's gold. And it's made from the copper dripping down.
I love that.
Yeah. It's for happiness. It's for opening your third eye. And all these things I've found out since, Wayne. I would not have known all of this beforehand. So
I've
that's
got
what
to get some of
I'm
that. Make sure you will you send me that what the name of that is, and I'm
yes,
going to look for that. That is just far out.
it's beautiful. Everybody, and when I start my readings, it's always on the top of the deck, and sometimes it kind of shines a light off. It's fabulous.
Oh, I
Yeah,
mean, it drew me in immediately. I mean, it's like that's my personality.
yeah,
You shine everywhere you kind of turn.
yeah. It is. It's gorgeous. It is for happiness, and you are happy. One happy guy.
Well, I just tried to spread the joy. That's all.
Well, this is where we're at now. Really, this is the whole point of this. We are, as enlightened beings, we are lifted, we are lighter,
Yes.
and that is what I feel that we are to help other people get to this same place. And the more of us that can grow and be lighter and shine a light in this dark world, because for me now, as an understanding that, of the devil, I'm more inclined to this is a force,
Mm-hmm.
very real force. Again, as I'm going along learning about heart chakras, and I was actually called to Glastonbury this year. I've never been there before. Drive past it on the way to Devon every year. and I've only ever thought, I'll go to Glastonbury and see one of the concerts. But no, I wanted to go and see the Glastonbury tour and the Chalice Well. I don't know if you've heard of those places, Wayne.
I have not, but I was just thinking if you would take a camera and get those would be some great
Well,
videos.
I'm going to go back because I didn't do everything that I wanted to do.
Sure.
I know. Glastonbury tour. The tour in England, we have lots of tours. They're big, huge hills. And this, the Glastonbury tour, I've since discovered, actually lies on a ley line.
Okay.
And this line goes from the tip of Cornwall all the way through Glastonbury and comes out at East Anglia. And this line has two lines that go on it. There's the Michael line and the Mary line.
Oh, how interesting.
These are two forces. So this has been 2 days ago I've started looking all this up. Now I'm like, why have I felt this pull to go to Glastonbury tour? So in discovering ley lines, I've also discovered that there is a grid around the whole of the earth. And that
Mm.
around the earth, let me find my piece of paper, that there are gates,
Yes.
15 gates around the world, and 7 of them are chakras.
Really?
And your first chakra is the root chakra, is at Mount Shasta. The second sacral chakra is at Lake Titicaca.
Okay.
Your third chakra, the solar plexus, is at Ayers Rock. And now get this one. This is the one for me. The fourth, the heart chakra, is at Glastonbury.
Oh, well.
And see, now I've gone all tingly again. And then the fifth is that your throat chakra is actually the Sphinx at the Great Pyramid.
Is that right?
Yes,
How
and apparently your
interesting.
third eye chakra, the sixth one, has no location. But actually, that really makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Wow.
Have a location because you tune into that wherever.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It would be wherever it would be manifested.
Yes. So
Ah.
I've just discovered all of this about 2 days ago. So now I know why I've had an impulse to go somewhere that I've never had an impulse to go before. And of course, Glastonbury is what there's a tower on the top which is called St Michael's Tower. So, Archangel Michael is all along this line, and then the other line is the Mary line.
So about Archangel Michael, now I'm of the place that where I look at angels as basically, I don't believe that they're ETs, although technically they would be called extraterrestrials. What I do believe that they are a race of beings that have, I guess transcend is the word, to
Mm-hmm.
a place to where they actually are interdimensional beings,
Mm-hmm.
multi-dimensional beings.
And I truly think as well that if you think maybe we're in a kind of a training school, maybe when we do
Yes.
make our transition, maybe some of us are going off to be angels, you know.
Good, Ruth. I'm going to have to write that down because I contend we are gods in training.
Yes, I've heard you say that before.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
could be gods in training. We could be angels in training.
Be something great to ask the cards.
Yeah,
Are we gods in training?
yeah.
I'd be curious to see what the cards have to say that.
I will sit and I will get some questions going for you, Wayne.
Okay. And I also put you to the challenge this morning. Do you mind if I let everyone know what I wrote back to you? So here's what I challenged Ruth with and anyone else who uses the cards. So Ruth and I were talking, and I was really working on the show that I did at noon. And as I'm writing, it hit me, ask her if she could connect to the planets. I contend that planets are sentient living beings. I would say that if the cards could begin to help us, I wonder if they could help the other planets.
So I do have a deck. A lot of the cards literally will just give you a visual picture and then let you know on the bottom whether it's the Two of Pentacles, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a deck called the Night Sun Tarot.
Wow, those are far out.
It's by Fabio Listrani, Italian.
Oh, look at that.
It's a very dark deck. I purchased this after I did the very first set of monthly readings, and somebody left me a message and said, we're not all happy clappy, you know.
Well, I just want to interject this. Listen, dark black is the saturation of all colors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it as this foreboding, listen, if there is knowledge on white, then there's got to be knowledge in black.
I've never been afraid of the dark. I mean, I could okay, the devil and all of that, but the dark. I mean, I'm a Scorpio, so I'll live under my.
You know, I contend this. The contrarian in me wants to go, well, listen. All right, I can dig that the fact that let's see, dark is the combination, saturation of all colors. Light is then the absence of all color. I don't know if I want to go to the light. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Anyway, so getting back to the planets.
So I'm going to have to put the specs on for this.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
It gives you a certain je ne sais quoi look.
Oh, thank you very much.
There you go.
So I'll just show you this for an example. So in the corner of this particular deck of cards, we do have the symbols for planets.
Oh, yes, you do.
So obviously it's not anything I've really gone into before. So I thought we'll have a little go, Wayne. So I did, after you'd asked me that, I've got 5 minutes, went and made a coffee. And I did pull a few cards, and then I stopped because I thought, whoa, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I'm going to love this.
So first of all, I just asked, is there any planet that wants to speak to me? And the first card that came out was this one, which is I have to look myself, it is the 10 of Pentacles.
Okay.
But in the corner is the symbol for Mercury.
Oh, my.
So I felt that Mercury wanted to tell us that as Pentacles is the earth, as 10 is ending and beginnings, and also in the other side we have the sign of Virgo. So I took it that Mercury is wants to let us know what's going on the earth, is analysing the earth. So Mercury is speaking to us and let us know what Mercury is seeing on the earth.
Fantastic.
Next I got was the 4 of Pentacles. Can you see these, Wayne? Am I holding them up?
I mean, it's a little blurry at times, but yeah. Yeah, that's okay. There you go. Yep. Fine. Yep. Excellent. So I love these.
Yeah, they're wonderful cards. So this is the 4 of Pentacles with the sun in the corner. So I'm gleaning from that there is a problem with the stability of the sun.
Wow. Ruth, you have no idea what you're saying.
I don't really, do I? Because this is where
Hey, Trisha G. You're freaking blowing my... Go, keep on. I'm
going to say hello to Trisha G because, do you know, she said on one of the shows about life path 7s will never be happy unless they're following their life purpose. And Trisha, I am so happy now, and I wasn't before.
I'll tell you, I'm going to get Trisha back on. I've been saying it for a couple of months. She's a wonderful, wonderful dear friend and a talent. All right, so this is very interesting.
So next that came was the 4 of Swords. So another 4, but we have Jupiter in the corner.
God.
So I get that this is affecting Jupiter's stability.
Ruth, I'm going to tell you something, dear. You need to pursue this line.
Okay.
What we lack in bridging both science and spirit together in those tools, no one, dear, no one, when I wrote you that I know of, that I've been searching, has ever done a reading on the planets.
Well, it was just how uncanny that you asked me, and I actually have a deck. Well, uncanny, it isn't. It's another synchronicity.
Yes.
Isn't it, really, for sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Wow.
So next I got the 9 of Pentacles and the sign of Venus and Virgo.
God almighty.
So 9s are completing a cycle. So Venus is completing a cycle. Next I got just plain old Page of Swords with the symbols of air and earth. So I feel that Venus is completing a cycle which is going to affect our atmosphere on the earth.
Wow, you don't know how.
I
Okay,
don't know if this is making any sense to
it
you.
makes perfect sense. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then the last card that I pulled is the Five of Cups. It is the sign of Mars and Scorpio.
God Almighty.
So I've got that Venus is completing a cycle. This will affect the atmosphere on Earth, and it will also put Mars into conflict, as 5 is the number of conflict, crisis, and struggle. And then Scorpio is also death or transformation. So I'm not sure there whether Mars is going to die or transform, but it's certainly in a crisis. So
And I'll write you an email on what you've just done. This is freaking phenomenal. I'm telling you, Ruth, no one is doing this. And what you're just telling me, I have scientific evidence to back this up of what you just said.
okay, that's where I wanted to stop there, because I mean, I could have kept going, but without the backup of
Yeah.
validation of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Every one of the planets that you mentioned in exactly the correlating sign and symbol on that is exactly what's happening.
wow.
So, and I'm telling you, and listen, this is a room, a community of empaths. We're all in this thing together, baby.
We are.
and
But I tell you, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, Wayne.
well, same here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the community I'm building up on my channel, they're absolutely
Same way.
great bunch of people. If you're not well, they're there with a remedy.
Yep.
If you're feeling down, they're there with a hug and words of kindness. Oh, it's amazing. It's just, I actually really, kind of lean now more towards wanting to be doing what I can than being anywhere else. It's like, because I really enjoy the people. I've met so many wonderful people.
We are.
Really, I've got to say a special hello to my friend Laurie, who I know is watching. She's a special friend of mine from over the pond.
Okay. All right. We got a full crowd in here. And I tell you, and you're right. There is a kinship that we're growing. And
I mean, even the name Kindred Spirit came as an impulse.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going through all different, Ruth I's Cauldron. I wanted Scorpio rising, but some other wonderful person had taken that one. And again, I just put the question out. Well, you think of a name. What would you?
You see, I loved it. And the graphic I pulled up when I was doing
wow.
You can keep that if you want it. I'll send you the
brilliant.
I'll send you the JPEG on that, and
thank you.
Use it for you, because that's the energy I got when I saw you. And
oh wow, thank you.
So
well, I mean, literally, I'm only doing everything. I do it all off this phone, Wayne.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, we got to do something here. We got to get more and more people here up to date so we can get some technology into our hands here, so that y'all are not hindered by the lack of technology. So,
and this is the thing, I mean, I didn't really bother too much about technology prior to, as long as I'd got a phone and Mum could get hold of me if she needed me. It really didn't bother me. I kind of, as a young woman, when computers were first coming out, and Word Perfect and all that, showing my age. But
what age would that be?
But after about Windows 666, it went kind of.
I liked Windows XP. I thought it was a great format of the stabilized.
Windows XP, I think, was probably the last time I really bothered with it. I've got a little tablet, an 8-inch tablet, and my phone, and I've been quite happy with that. But obviously now, doing what I'm doing, I'm going to start putting any donations that are coming my way now. And
listen, I think it's well done. I mean, we can do this. We helped Warrior Princess out. I know Brian is needing one. We're going to get this thing done. We can do it amongst ourselves. And let's see. The link to Ruth's YouTube is incorrect, not her channel. Wow. It's Kindred Spirits, I thought, that we put up there.
Kindred Spirit Tarot.
Yeah, I thought that put in there. I'll make sure, because I have it right up here pulled on my browser. Blazing River, thank you. You know, I think what we're going to start doing, I'm going to start allocating all the cash donations into a separate pile so we can start maybe getting some seed money to all you folks so we can get you some good technology.
I think it's absolutely amazing what you've done with Warrior Princess, and actually, what a wonderful thing she's doing too.
Oh, I'll tell you, she is an example for all of us to begin to follow, and we're going to do it. Yeah. Listen, there's no
these beacons, don't we, to shine out for sure.
Sure, and you know, I don't believe in poverty. I hate it. It's a curse.
Yeah.
And
we should all have a Thanksgiving Day as well.
We should. And, you know, we ought to get together. We're going to do this. We're going to get a panel together, and we're going to do some invocation of favor. But I tell you, folks, we've got to break this curse of poverty and lack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just...
And a lot of it is people's perception. If we can just change their perception, that it's just the fear of not having enough.
That's what it is.
Just that basic fear alone is what produces more of not having enough. And so, you know, if we can just get people to change their perspective, and to start off with, you know, nothing changes on the outside. You change on the inside first, and then it will all change on the outside after.
Well, my goodness, Ruth, you are a philosopher.
Oh,
I love that. In fact,
wow. I've had to get to this age to be one, but wow. What an absolute compliment, Wayne. Thank you.
Well, you are. I'll tell you, we all come together, and I think we're either all closet philosophers or all of us have come out of the closet.
Well, yeah. And about time, too.
About time, exactly. Well, Miss Ruth, our time has the hour, and actually we've gone over. I told you you'd enjoy this.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, definitely.
You know, so folks, thank you, Tricia. We'll get the right link for Ruth's channel, Kindred Spirit Tarot. Go over there, subscribe. Let's support her. And as we do everyone else, Ruth, I just have had a delightful time. I'd like to have you come back, and like to maybe get you and Tricia and some other folks together.
I'd love that. Yes.
All right. Tricia, you'd be up for that? You're up at 2:00 already.
Yeah.
Like, well, what the hell am I else going to do? So.
For the full moon, I think there's too much sky cloud.
Yeah, it's out there. Trust me, I can feel it.
Yeah.
Well, Ruth, thank you, my dear. It is just, your energy is wonderful. It's uplifting, and you are a true delight to humanity. I just want to let you know that.
Thank you. And I thank all of my subscribers, and thank you just to everyone who's joined us and who's watching. I hope that they go away with something.
Yes. Well, in fact, let's just go ahead and invoke a favor upon the blessing, a favor on everybody here, folks. What I speak in your lives is that there be nothing missing, nothing broken found in your lives. And if it's been stolen from you, then it's going to be returning back to you.
Yes.
So that's how we're going to do that.
Wonderful.
All right, my dear, go get some rest.
Thank you. Another coffee, I think, first.
You're probably going to be bouncing off the walls.
Oh, yes.
Well, I thank you, everyone. Everyone, be good to yourselves. Have a great weekend. We'll see you. I think I think Jeff's going to be around. We'll definitely have a show on Sunday, and we'll be back on Monday. Ruth, you be good. I thank you. Thank you for your wonderful energy. Continue to write to me, and I'm going to have you back on, all right?
Thank you, my friend. Look
okay, my dear. All right, everyone. We will see you later. Bye-bye. And let me give you